Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Chris Butnick, and I have the pleasure of serving as Executive Director for Healing Transitions, and have had the privilege of being a part of this mission since its inception. We are gathered here today as we are concluding our our 20th anniversary celebration, 20 years of operations of our men's campus, 15 years of operations of our women's campus. We have a concept in our community meetings. We have number 1 on the board, which represents do nothing. And it's really kind of this concept of that, for us to make change and for our lives to improve, we got to do something. And it's really easy to look the other way or say somebody else is going to do this, or it's not my problem, or I shouldn't get involved. I'll let somebody else handle it. But we are all here today because there were people who chose to do something. I want to welcome our participants at the men's campus and women's campus, those who are joining us via YouTube, and our special guests that we have joining us on Zoom to give an opportunity for some appreciation for the fruits of other people's labor. We want to use tonight as an opportunity to screen the original documentary, Miracles in Progress, that aired on WRAL in January of 1999, just as a way to introduce this model to this community. And then we'll be privileged to hear from some of those founding and instrumental community members whose dedication, hard work, perseverance, and persistence has given us all the opportunity to be here today. And we celebrate 20 years later, the innumerable lives that have been changed, a life changed inside the walls here at Healing Transitions, inside these facilities, ripples out and truly touches many other lives. And it's really, in many ways, difficult to fully communicate the depth and breadth of the impact. So again, in the spirit of not voting for number 1, we are going to watch Miracles in Progress and listen to those who chose to do something to benefit us. Thank you for joining us.
I love this place. I worked for 40 years in the broadcasting business, but nothing in my career comes close to the sense of commitment and accomplishment and importance of what I've done here. I really love coming to work when I come to volunteer.
We found through a study that we had done that there were 2 things that prohibited people from really having a quality life: poverty and addiction. So I had a staff member, and she found an organization called the Healing Place, and it was just fantastic. As we were going home, Fred, Barbara, and I personally committed to get the Healing Place here in Raleigh.
On January 15, 2001, a 165-bed men's campus opened up, providing services on demand as many times as it takes. The impact of Healing Transitions since 2001 has been phenomenal. We have provided over 1.4 million beds of services since we've opened. We are providing upwards of 300,000 meals a year. We've offered comfort and consolation to families, knowing that their loved one is able to get help. There have been a lot of important milestones in our history. The opening of the men's campus, the opening of the women's campus 5 years later in 2006, establishing a family program, engaging in a post-opioid overdose rapid responder program in partnership with Wake County. And through it all, we've worked really hard to continue to figure out how to serve individuals.
I grew up in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. My mom's used, my grandmother used, and I started using. My life turned from there. Homelessness, not seeing your family, getting addicted to drugs, it takes all that away. I made it to the Healing Place, and that's when my journey started. My life is different today because of Healing Transition. I got married, got 2 grandkids. Me and my wife own our own business. My father and I never had a relationship. As I got grown, he called me. He wanted to get some help, and he came to the Healing Place. It worked out, and got a great relationship. I want to say thank you to the people that made this possible. Without them, I don't know where I would be at today.
The Raleigh City Council and the Wake County Board of Commissioners continue to support us because they know this works. Every dime that people have given in our community has an impact. And there is absolutely no way that you would be able to deny that you've been involved in a life-changing situation.
As we move into the future, we're really excited that the Recovery Can't Wait campaign is going to help us add 200 beds, increase the infrastructure to support the people that we've been serving, and allow us to partner with more in the community. In 20 years from now, I can't wait to see how big the recovery community has grown because of Healing Transitions. Recovery can't wait, and everybody can make a difference in making that a reality. Well, this is just incredible to look back and hear these early voices. And I think the gift back to those people who had the vision and put in the work is the lives that have been changed. And we'll get to hear from some of those. It's a real pleasure that we'll get to hear from some of these folks that helped out early on. Barbara Goodman sends her regrets, but I would like to start with Linda Strother. And Linda is the woman who found the Healing Place model. And she has been under-recognized in our history. And she's a really important person for everybody to know. And we feature her in our 20th anniversary publication. And Linda, if you were there, we would love to have you say a few words. Maybe while we're waiting on Linda, I'll turn it over to Maria, and Maria, let you speak.
Well, memories came back overflowing. I just can't say enough good things about where we've come from. From the time, and I can see this in my mind, from the time that Linda came to me with her Google findings to now is just incredible, incredible. She was so excited. She said, Maria, I think I found it. I think I found it. And I said, well, Linda, let's get a group and let's go see it. She said, really? I said, yes, really. We're going to go see that place. We've got to see it. And we did go. We did go. And it was, oh my goodness, multiple times more than what we thought it would be. And to think now, 20 years later, of what the Healing Place has become, I can say at the time on the film, I was very confident in saying that Raleigh will have a healing place. Well, Raleigh has a healing place, big time, in expansion, doing more than ever. And I thank God. I just thank God for all the things we've been able to do.
Thank you so much, Maria. Linda, it's so glad to have you here. So good to see you.
Hey, Chris. Hi. Hi, Maria. Nice to see you.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Nice to see your face.
It's great to see yours.
The Healing Place, now Healing Transitions of Wake County.
Yes.
This program was truly a building of a process of a dream. As you can see right here, mirroring the steps of recovery. Bringing the Healing Place to Wake County was certainly, truly a dream and a vision, but it took a huge huge community effort. I felt so appreciative of being a small part, being in the right place at the right time to get it here. I think it was a higher power. I know it was. I really, really do think it was. As we can know and see, in the early 90s and mid 90s, the Wake County was working very, very hard because we were having the rapid increase of homelessness and substance abuse addiction on the street. We could see the agony. We could see the suffering. We could see this impact. But we didn't have the resources to get ahead of the problem. There were few, for instance, there were only 8 detox beds and 26 substance abuse rehab beds in Wake County for all of this that was happening. All of this was happening. And we tried and nothing seemed to be working. The county put together many task forces and committees, and one of them was a non-medical detox committee. And the county said, you are charged with finding the solution. And for some reason, this committee made me the chair of that committee. I didn't know what was going to happen to me. I didn't know what this charge was going to do. But I was looking and frustrated and getting more and more desperate. I couldn't find anything that seemed to meet the need. So I stayed in my office, and I'll never will forget this date. On January the 14th, 1977. It was 7 o'clock at night, dark. Most of my colleagues had gone home for the day. And I said, okay, I'm going back on the internet. I scrolled and scrolled. Nothing. I looked and I said, okay, I'm about ready to quit. I put my fingers on the keyboard, counted to 5, and voila. The healing place of Louisville, Kentucky came up on the screen, and my eyes got bigger and bigger because it said we could have a shelter and the people did not have to be sober. Under the roof, we could have a non-medical detox unit. Aha. Okay, the lead professionals were going to be the ones that led others to recovery, who knew what was going on. Aha, that's what we needed. That's what we needed. On and on and on, and met every need. And you've seen that wonderful vision. You've seen that wonderful vision of what this program offered. Okay, there was a phone number online. I called it, and Chris Fiorado, who you've seen before, picked up the phone. We talked for 2 solid hours. I got so excited. I was so excited. I said, I got to get to this committee right away, ASAP. So I went back to the committee. Now, this committee represented many groups in our community with different attitudes of what we should do to help the homeless. They were trying their best. Different attitudes, I emphasize that. I presented this program, and every single one anonymously agreed on the spot this was the program. And they directed me, I was a staff member at Human Services, to go to Maria Spalda, who was the director of Human Service, and present this program to her. I did. Guess what? She listened with a capital T. She made this a department priority. She said, okay, Linda, send somebody down there and make sure this really works. So 4 of us went down there during the Ohio River flooding. We were so impressed. Jay Davidson and Chris Fiorado just took us through everything. Came back, told Maria. She said, okay, now get a delegation together to go down there with all the folks that are dealing with the homeless in our county and stakeholders. Let's go see for ourselves. So this delegation of 13 people, who include law enforcement, city government, county government, emergency management, resources, alcohol treatment resources, non-medical and interfaith resources dealing with the homeless populations at the time all went. They all came back wide-eyed, excited, even with different views. They came together and said, yes, this is it. But the most important thing that happened too was that this was the birth of what I call the dynamic trio. And that was composed of Fred Barber, who was from Capital Broadcasting, Barbara Goodman, who was a board member of Human Services, and Maria Spalding, who was the director of Human Services. The three of them said, this is our mission, to do everything in our power. We're going to bring this program to Wake County. And the other thing that was happening that was so wonderful was that Dr. Bob Bilbrough was working with the medical community to get approval for non-medical detox in the community. The first he won. Now think about it. Picture it. All these people with different views, not obstructing, not backtracking, but joining hands to come together to say, this is what we're going to do in this community. Now, if you don't see these steps of recovery here, the problem, the decision, it is a miracle of a community coming together, joining hands to bring a program that was so great to meet the unique needs here in Wake County. It was wonderful to see. It was wonderful to see. Now, I do laugh because there was action, work after that. And Dennis Parnell, then the hired director of the program, worked with policies to get things done. Others got the land, the money, the resources, and got the building going and constructed. I do remember when the men's campus was being built and there was one column of bricks standing. My husband and I went to visit the healing place, and I looked at that brick wall and I got so excited, jumped out of my car and ran to the building and kissed the bricks. I still feel the feeling of what that felt like. My husband just laughed at me and laughed. But anyway, that was a miracle. So that was the second phase of a miracle, of a vision, of recovery. The step. The third step that's here in recovery is today, the 20 years of the colossal, incredible success of this program. 20 years, think about that. 20 years. Others are going to speak to that. I won't go into detail, but that's a miracle in itself. Now, I do believe that the true heroes, excuse me, of this program are the lead peers looking after peers, helping step by step to the top. They're doing it every day. The other hero of this program is Chris Butnick. He came on board in the year 2000 when Dennis Parnell and I were working on policies. He helped us with them. He helped us go to neighborhoods. He helped us spread the word. It got in the newspapers. It got everywhere with all of the help of those people I've just mentioned. He also saw the building of the men's and women's campuses. And He is sitting there today running this program, meeting the challenge of making it a success. Every day he goes to work. I do believe he might deserve an award. What do you think? The other thing that was so wonderful about this program is, think about it. I saw the program led by Higher Power in 1997. This program opened its doors the first month of 2001. That is a very short period of time of getting something done with so many people, with so many different attitudes, to make it happen and place it and get the benefit for us in this community and for those in recovery. When I saw this program, I knew it was unique. I knew it was unique to meet the needs in this county. I have felt very, very blessed that I was put in place to offer a small part to get it done. It warms my heart, and I'm very thankful that I have had this experience, and I will carry this warmness for the rest of my days. Thank you.
Linda, it is a real treasure having you here and seeing you with the process of building a dream while you're sharing your contributions. We can't thank you enough. And it's just been a real privilege of us to be able to celebrate this milestone with you and to acknowledge all your tremendous work and contribution. So at this time, I'm going to invite Evelyn Barber, whose husband Fred was so instrumental, not only in getting the program here, but in his continued and ongoing service work. Evelyn.
Thank you, Chris, and hello, everybody. I wish I had the words to convey the excitement and the enthusiasm that Fred had when he returned with that group from the trip to the Healing Place in Louisville. He was, I don't think I've ever seen him so enthusiastic about anything. And from that point forward, it was a little bit like the 4-year pregnancy. You know, there were all these milestones, and every one was a little more exciting than the previous one, with every financial commitment and the groundbreaking and the construction, and then finally the opening. And so during the time the Healing Place was being built, Fred kept a really close watch on the expenses and how well they were aligning with the budget, because he wanted to be absolutely sure that they could do everything they intended to do and that they didn't run out of money. That required a lot of discussions, a lot of meetings with the various people involved, and therefore a lot of time. But I don't think either he or I ever begrudged any of that time. It was interesting. I don't know what made me think of this recently. Well, just reflecting on the 20 years, I think he went to bat on a number of different areas to maybe alter what was being spent or rearrange it. But the one I remember was he asked why they had to have such a big women's bathroom at the men's Healing Place, because it was going to be mostly men. There would probably be 3 or 4 women, or maybe a few more on the staff. But to him, that just seemed like an area where the money could be redirected for a better use. But he was outvoted on that. It's also important to say that from the very beginning, he was equally committed to helping open the women's place. And fortunately for them, the experience gained from those first 5 years meant there was less trial and error in getting it launched. I've really enjoyed reflecting on the first morning that the Healing Place opened. With it being a startup, obviously it was a very limited staff throughout. we were fortunate in that some of the men from the Louisville healing place came out to provide guidance and hold our hands and, help us get off the ground. And Fred and I went over to help cook and serve breakfast that very first morning. And even though both of us are fairly decent cooks, we didn't have any experience with commercial equipment, the big stoves, the big refrigerators, the giant cooking utensils, the giant frying pans. And one of the things I remember, it seemed to me that Fred thought it was really important that the participants had grits for breakfast. And so doing the math to get that proper proportion of water and grits together was a little bit of a challenge. As the participants filed through the line that first morning, it was difficult to know who was more apprehensive, we or they. But as they finished eating and we had enough food for everybody, it seemed that all of us began to relax a little bit. And I had the sense that at least most of them began to feel that this new venture might be something worth pursuing. For quite some time after the healing place opened, I, along with several other volunteers, helped serve dinner once a week, or I went once a week. Other people went on different schedules. And that was such a great place to see firsthand the progress the participants were making. Early on, when they came through the serving line, they kept their heads down. They were looking at the floor. They had virtually no interaction with us. But then gradually, and actually it happened rather quickly, they began making eye contact and greeting us or responding to our comments. It was amazing. You could really see the progress from one week to the next. And one of my favorite markers of their progress was when one of the guys held up a water glass and turned it around to see if it was clean. And I thought, wow, what a difference, what a distance this guy has traveled to come from sleeping in the woods or under a bridge to now being concerned about cleanliness. I just thought that was really, really fun. When the first Christmas came around, we wanted to do something to make Christmas morning a little special for people living in a homeless shelter. So since breakfast seemed to be our strength, Fred conceived the idea of going over and making them a very special breakfast, different from their traditional daily meal. So he decided that the centerpiece of the breakfast would be his favorite, country ham, biscuits, and red-eye gravy. We went over about 5:30 in the morning, as I recall, so I felt a little bit like Santa Claus, although this was actually a lot more exciting. And then following breakfast, we had an AA meeting, and then we all exchanged hugs. It was just the most wonderful way for us to start our Christmas day. That was really, really special. And it's my understanding that, minus pandemics, that some version of that Christmas morning breakfast has become a tradition. I just don't really have the words to describe how amazing it is to think of that humble beginning when we were all learning together. Just to now see so many people who have come through these 20 years and learned to live happy, productive lives. I see them. I see the Healing Transition alums, various places I go, and it's so exciting. They're just out in the world doing what people do, taking care of their families, working, giving back to the community, reaching out and helping other alcoholics and addicts. And I just can be more grateful for this entire mission, which has been so meaningful to our entire family. So thank you to all of you who have been involved and continue to be involved. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Evelyn. And we're joined also by Bob Bilbrough, who's been one of our the longest, most consistent volunteer up here doing clinic again at the men's campus this week. Bob, it's great seeing you in that 1999 video, and love to hear a few words from you.
Well, I won't spend time telling about the history of my getting involved, but it goes back to Linda Strother and Fred Barber and Barbara Goodman and Maria Spalding. And actually, Linda called me to invite me to go with that contingent to visit Louisville. And I was just too busy with my medical practice to leave for 2 days. But I met with them, went to Fred Barber's office soon after that trip and they told me what they found and what we needed to do in Raleigh. And I said, count me in, I'm on. And I was the fourth board member to organize and recruit. And we worked to get the state to give us the lease on the land. We raised the money, raised a little over $4 million to build the healing place for men to begin with and open, as Chris has said, in January 15, 2001. And for me, it's been hugely gratifying. It's an inspiration to see these people turn their lives around. They come in, they're at the bottom emotionally and suffering with addiction. And the peer program works beautifully. They not only get their substance abuse under control, but they change their attitude and their behaviors. And it's just inspiring to see it happen and see these people establish themselves in recovery and become tax-paying, solid, productive citizens who are also reaching back to help other people bring themselves into a better life, into recovery. And that's inspiring to see the individuals accomplish those things, but also the community. If you look at the numbers, since Healing Place, now Healing Transitions open, January 2001, the population of Wake County has grown probably, last year it was 72%, it's probably 73, 74% now. But the homeless count has probably half of what it was when we started in January 01. So the one curve of population going up and the homeless count going down is hugely gratifying on a macro scale. And it's been great benefit to the community. And the ambience of downtown is dramatically different than the way it was in the early to mid 90s, thanks to Healing Transitions.
Well, Bob, thank you. And thank you and your wife, Carol, for continuing to make an impactful contribution to our organization and our future by leading us in this current capital campaign. And we're so glad that you're able to join us. And we're also grateful for all the community partners that have worked to address homelessness in our community. It is my pleasure to introduce West and ask West to share a few words. Thank you.
Hey, I'm an addict called West, and I just don't know where to begin. How do you talk about 20 years? But I got a lot of firsts. The Healing Place opened, like Chris said earlier, January 15th, 2001, and I stumbled into this place January 24th, and I haven't looked back since. Only time I look back is to help somebody else coming to the Healing Place. So I just want to share a quick review of 20 years. And I've been clean for 20 years now, and 10 months and 22 days. So I am living the dream that Maria and Linda with the magic finger stroke found, and that Fred and Maria and Dr. Bilbrough envision. I am actually living their dream. I am proof that it works, and so is everyone else that is involved. 20 years. When I got there was no grass. There were none of those trees. There was none of that sitting area. There wasn't the little fountain in the middle. There was just mud, that big wall, and the arch. And I was like, where am I? And I walked past Detox, and only thing in there was those brown steel frames that were beds. I didn't know that at the time. I thought it was the morgue. And I trudged on down to the shelter, and there was maybe 30 people in overnight and a few people that had been in what was at that time OTS 1, off the streets 1. And so I've seen a lot of firsts at the Healing Place. I remember trudging down to that. I lived in that warehouse that they talked about in the 1999. I lived in that shelter, the old South Wilmington Street shelter. I remember classes at the South Wilmington Street shelter, trudging down the highway in one little line, looking like ants, and just the community in cars waving at us, and we're waving back. And I remember the bipolar weather of Raleigh. One day we trudged, and it snowed, rained, and the sun came out all in one day. I remember the first classes up at the Dick's Chapel. I remember 9/11, going to class and coming back, and the world was different. I remember adopting Lake Wheeler Road, and we became the custodians of cleaning up our community because we became part of the community. I remember ice storms and still 12-step meetings being held at Healing Place, and which is now Healing Transitions. I remember power outages with no power and being cold as all outdoors, but we still pressed on. I remember Detox opening, and these 9 or 10 staff members coming aboard to provide services and not knowing who we were. I remember life skills class first beginning. I remember so many firsts of things happening, but I am Silver Chip number 3, part of the first transitioning group from the men's program. And thank God that now the name is Healing Transitions, because at that time we thought we were graduating, and Dennis Parnell made it be known that this is just a transition to our new phase of life. I remember being put on as one of the first, what we called assistant staff, which is now today known as peer mentors. And Linda talked about how important it is, because there were some guys that came up from Louisville that taught us how to carry the message and present recovery dynamics and present it to somebody else. I remember community when it was very small, and Dennis and Chris and those guys from Louisville. And I remember Chris Fajardo showing up at community, and wow, we learned a lot that day. I remember other communities, people from Ghana, people from Japan, people from Hampton Roads coming to see our program. But most of all, I remember the friendships, the lifelong friendships that I have built. I remember being asked to go on staff. What? Me work here? Wow, what a privilege. I remember years later being asked to be on the board of directors and not knowing what in the world the board of directors did. And I thought of a good idea. Hey, if I don't know what they do, that means a lot of my peers don't know. And I really wanted to make sure that the board of directors knew who they were advocating for, and the people they were advocating for knew who was advocating for them. So I've just had a miraculous 20 years of Healing Place, Healing Transitions, ongoing recovery. And if God see fit, I'll be here for another 20, because I know the Healing Place will stand. I remember the women's facility opening up, and you know, the apprehension that a lot of the community, the men's community, had, that all the resources were going to be taken away and the women were going to get everything, and how we just became another loving family as we added our sisters along. And I'm so proud. I remember having a client where I work now, and she was one of the first women that I referred to the Women's Healing Place, and they hadn't even opened their doors yet. And for 2 days, I believe she had to stay at the Helen Wright Women's Center. And she transitioned from Helen Wright and went to the Women's Healing Place, and she had a successful time there. So this is what the whole story is about: reaching back, giving back, and being back. And I just want to say one thing: the work that the staff, so many countless members of the Wake County community has, given us, I just hope that I can always be a representative of what we stand for. To everyone aboard today, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, Let's have an even bigger and better 2022. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, West. And our next speaker is Julie. And while we're waiting for Julie to make it up to the front, another first that you had in recovery was going to your first game at Fenway Park. Tough thing for a Yankee fan. All right, it's been a real privilege to help recognize and be part of people's milestones, and a lot of 20-year anniversaries this year at the men's campus. And at our women's campus, we've had many women mark 15 years of recovery who came when the women's campus first opened. It is my pleasure to introduce Julie Kirkman.
So when Chris asked me to speak, I was like, didn't really think much about it. I said, yeah, I'll speak, and kept on about my day. And I'm not usually one that can just get up here and just flow. So last night I was sitting there by myself in the quietness of my home, and all of a sudden these thoughts started coming to my mind, and I don't know where they were coming from. So I said, let me get my phone and start recording it, writing it down. Because it was in a lot of the things were coming about my first year of when I got to the Healing Place on March 30th of 2006. So I'm going to share with you a little thing that I wrote down last night. So on March 30th, 2006, I was in a state of desperation and despair. My mom called a friend who said, yes, there's help. It's called the Healing Place. Make sure she goes there. We were told when we got there to ask for a guy named Glenn. When I got out of the parking lot, I met a girl that said, I'll be your friend. We took a tour and I didn't recognize a face. I looked back at my parents and I said, I'm not staying at this place. My dad said, we can't make you stay there, but you're not coming home. It only took me a couple of weeks to realize I knew I was where I belonged. I was able to quickly find a sense of peace and hope and realized for the first time I didn't have to use dope. The recovery dynamics helped me to understand why I did the things that I did, and it didn't take me long to realize I started using when I was still a kid. I'll never forget the people that were at the HP in the first year. They walked me through the steps and showed me how to live. I'm forever grateful and in debt to everyone that plays a part. I don't know each and every one of you, but I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And that just all just came to me, and I had to just write it down. And then after that, it was just done. And so I said, well, I'm going to share it because that's what came to my mind when I thought about my first year and coming to the Healing Place and what the last 15 years, of my life. And this kind of sums it up. And another thing I was going to share is a few weeks ago, I was at the women's campus and I was outside walking around, and I was out front on the phone, and I happened to look down and I saw two bricks. One brick says in honor of Julie Atkins, 3/30/2006, and the other one said in memory of Vicki Atkins, 8/2/2011. That's when my mother passed away. And they were sitting there, and they had been moved because of the construction and the expansion. So I texted my dad and my sister, and I said, do you remember these bricks? Because they were from years ago. I said, they've been moved from their original spot, but eventually they'll probably be put down one day. And my dad responded, and he said, very important dates, the beginning of new lives for both. And so I just want to share that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julie, and thank you everyone who's participated in this first part of our evening of celebrations. And the message of hope to those who are watching this from within the men's and women's campuses is that you are already doing today what many of the people that you've heard tonight, you're already doing what they're doing. You may not have 20 years of recovery or 15 years of recovery, but you are offering hope to the person who's just walking in. You, through your kindness and your compassion and your brother and sisterly love, are doing the things that are planting the seed and helping to cultivate and nurture that seed so it can blossom into something new and something that is beautiful. And it is with great humility and pleasure that we get to be part of this journey with you. And so to our current participants, thank you for what you do. For those who have come before, for them, thank you for reaching back and continuing to be a part of that. And largely in following the approach of those that we heard from tonight, choosing to do something instead of choosing to do nothing. It is 5:44. We are going to break. When we come back, we have our special annual holiday open house recognitions mixed in with our transition ceremony. And so we're going to take a break for folks, and we will be resuming in 15 minutes. Thank you. All right, good evening, everybody. Thanks for those who are joining us virtually. Thank you to those who have been watching the precursor to this part of our night's festivities. It's been a real pleasure to look back at the vision and the efforts and the hard work of many known and unknown people that have made it possible for all of us to be here today and to be celebrating in lives transformed, which is the ultimate purpose of tonight, hearing from men and women who have completed the program and who are living new lives. And so we are very grateful to have you here, and hello to the women over at the women's campus. Hello to Leon's wife and daughter.
We're late, just coming in. Because I had to take Mark home.
And this transition ceremony in the month of December is always a little bit different. It's where we pause and reflect on not just the folks who have helped make tonight possible, which is the staff and participants and alumni and board of directors, but to extend our focus just a little bit to some other recognition. So as a starting point, I want to express my deep appreciation to the program participants for all their hard work in getting everything ready for today, and a deep debt of gratitude to the staff for their hard work in pulling together this event, which can be difficult to do as we're navigating a pandemic at the same time. And a thanks to our board of directors and our board of trustees who continue to support us. The special recognitions that we have tonight are a couple of recognitions of staff for milestones that they've had, a special recognition of our board chair, and then these are the folks that really kind of make a unique difference. We have a Community Partner of the Year recognition, an Employer Ally of the Year recognition, a Volunteer Year of the recognition, and 2 COVID Hero Awards that we're going to have tonight. In addition to that, we will have a Staff Member of the Year recognition, and then we will hear from our Silver Chip alumni. And we're glad that you're here and able to join us and be part of this tonight. I have the privilege of inviting Justin Garrity to come up and to present our first staff recognition.
Hey, good evening. I'm Justin Garrity. I'm the Director of Recovery Services at the Men's Campus, and I have the privilege of giving a 5-year appreciation award to Miss Jamie Elk. Jamie began as a chef at the Women's Campus. Then she moved on to start a robust recovery outreach program that was new to this whole thing, to Healing Transitions. From February 2018 to today, there have been 19,663 outreach attempts to 1,578 individuals. That wasn't happening prior to this recovery outreach program happening. We had some stuff in place, but not to this level. She then became the point person, or she's been the point person for all Trillium referrals. So if you're from Trillium, she had an integral part in you getting your seat here today. Most recently, she has streamlined our admissions process at the Men's Campus and really improved the way we're able to get more folks in. So if you are in the program, you have a seat today, she probably looked at your screening and said, yep, let's give this person a chance. And so we can thank her for that. Within these past 5 years, she's gone back and completed school. She's gotten her peer support certification. She's ran in and coordinated a bunch of different races. She's a runner. She is raising a wonderful daughter in Miss Piper. She exudes compassion, kindness, and care. A strong woman in recovery. Ladies and gentlemen, Silver Chip 154, Jamie Oak.
I tried. Yeah, so my name is Jamie Elk, and I'm a person in long-term recovery. What that means for me is that I haven't had the need to take a drink or a drug since April 13th of 2014. Pretty amazing. You know, it was really emotional to watch the documentaries prior to this about where we came from and how we started. I used to, when I was a participant in the program, I used to wonder who the mastermind was and who came up with all these brilliant things that were helping us all grow. And I was just talking to somebody yesterday, and you know, coming here to work has made me realize that it's not just one person, it's all of us, like all the employees, all of the participants have a part in all the changes and the things that we do here. And I think that makes this program thrive. I'm just really, really grateful. It's a pleasure to be working here. It's an honor to be working here. It's pretty amazing that I came here knowing absolutely nothing about myself. And today I can stand here with confidence and feel good about myself and know more about myself and do a job, right? So thank you.
Good evening. My name is Carmel, and I'm here to present this award to my near and dear friend, Teresa Rayford. She's a good friend and she's a colleague of mine. She's very dedicated to her work. The ladies at the Healing Place, she gives them a great deal of support every day. And she's, you know, she does this with heart, always. And she's been here 10 years. And I'm grateful and honored to give her her plaque for 10 years.
Congratulations, Jill.
Woo! I'm Teresa Rayford. I'm silver chipper number 85. So Crystal Meeham had to remind me my number 85. So, cause I always get it mixed up with me and Audra. So, I'm just saying, you know, everybody that's here, if you stay, take it one day at a time. Every day is not easy. So, you know, do like I did, just stick and stay. And it was something, I think his name, Tavon, he had sent me my PTO request form, and at the end of it, it was a quote. And I had to turn around. Okay. And at the end of it, it was a quote, and I was just sitting back that day when he sent me the PTA request back, and I read the end of it. He said, "You never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice." And it just, you know, stuck with me. So you know what? Y'all stick and stay.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Blue. I'm the Director of Programs for our men's and women's campuses. and it is my honor tonight to present our Community Partner of the Year to Carolina Outreach and Miss Brenda Holloman. To Carolina Outreach, I could not imagine a more amazing community partner. I think back on one of the most pivotal events for our community and for the people that we serve, and that was the opening of your behavioral health urgent care. I cannot tell you how many times we have had someone here in a crisis, and we've connected them to a mental health care provider, but by the time they actually get an appointment or they get seen, they're no longer here. And so that's just made all of the difference. Services on demand is one of our most important guiding principles at Healing Transitions, and to find an agency that works with us that shares that same value, we can't put a value on that. So all the gratitude to you guys, and even more gratitude to Miss Brenda for bringing you to us, or us to you. I'm not really sure which way that goes at this point, but we've been a package deal for a very long time. I was thinking last night on what do I say, because there's so much to say about Miss Brenda. And I remembered a conversation that I had recently. I was talking to someone who had been here in the program, and they had left, had been struggling, and they had recently come back. And they told me, the only reason I'm here today is Miss Brenda. And my response was, I believe you. She's pretty amazing, right? Yeah. And they said, Miss Amanda, I called that woman at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. because I didn't know that I could keep doing this. And she picked up. She knew it was me calling, and she answered the phone at 4 a.m. And she talked to me for over an hour. She talked me out of that dark place, and she convinced me to come back here. And right now, I am happy. I'm home, and I'm safe. And that too, you are to us. Brenda arrives at Healing Transitions like a lot of us do, a little bit by accident, a lot by fate. We actually had another therapist who was seeing some of our ladies, and she'd been sick for a while. So Brenda offered to fill in for one day, one time, to make sure that somebody was talking to them. They didn't have a disruption in services. That was 2011. Right. So over a decade later, 4 different agencies and a retirement. Here we are. So this is long, long overdue. And we had to get you a little something extra. So we got you a keychain that says, a great therapist is hard to find and impossible to forget. And they said it perfectly. I couldn't have said it better. The second thing is this awesome adult coloring book, because I'm sure that you need therapy now. And it's also a journal, because you have absolutely been convinced of the therapeutic value of writing words by this point. And the theme for the night is therapist, because badass miracle worker isn't an official job title. We've heard a lot of those tonight, and you're in a very elite group. It takes a really special person to work with us at Healing Transitions, as everybody in this room is aware. You got to have just the right experience. You got to have just the right partner. You have to have just the right soul and just the right tools. And Miss Brenda Holloman has all of those things. So I would like to invite you guys in Carolina Outreach up to get your awesome little gifts and say a few words.
Hi. Hey, it is so good to see you. And sorry. Oh, I have to get a picture first. I need to practice my exciting skills.
Sorry.
Oh, you get them. Thank you.
Oh, forget your coloring book.
I actually been looking for one of these. Oh, but I like the title.
It's
I've never
space,
seen
right?
that.
That is a very awesome title.
I just want to say thank you. Actually, the honor is mine that I have enjoyed every minute of being out here. And I think one of the things that sticks in my mind, I don't know if Amanda remembers this or not, when I felt like I was at home, was it was an evening and Amanda was still over at the women's and I was still there. And the issue broke out in detox and we were talking and it was just kind of mayhem. And I looked at Amanda and I said, I'll go get this way, you go that way. And we ended up, everything got calmed down. And I kind of knew at that moment that I felt like I was home. And when the opportunity came to, I had put my years in with the county, I said, adios, I'm going to the Healing Transitions to work more than I am now. So, and again, I want to thank you for letting me be part of your journey, and sharing things with me. And I hope that I'll still always be here for you. I'm still here. So I am going to take a few days at Christmas though. So you can still call it 4 though. And this is my boss from Carolina Outreach. She's the site director, Melissa. And I'm going to butcher her last name.
Pellegrino.
Thank you. You heard it.
This is such an honor. We are so lucky to collaborate with Healing Transitions. They do a lot of wonderful work in the community to help all of you, and we are just so excited to continue our partnership. So thank you so much.
I got to say one more thing. I forgot to thank all the staff that work, and help me out, and especially the men and women's planning room. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate
it. So for me to be able to do the work that I do, it takes not only a tremendous amount of support from staff and participants, but from our board of directors. And we have the great privilege tonight of honoring extended board service by Dr. Leon Woodruff, who's also a volunteer at our clinic at the women's campus. Most board terms are 3 years, and people can do 2 board terms, so most people will end up doing 6 years. Leon did a 7th year of board service. In addition to that, and volunteering at the clinic at the women's campus, he's been an active part of our capital campaign steering committee and has contributed tremendously to the success of our current capital campaign for expansion. His predecessor as board chair was Richard Gaylord, and Richard's going to help me present this plaque to Leon. And Leon, I just, we had some tumultuous changes in times, and you really provided a lot of stability that made it possible for me to adjust to this new role and to grow into the position that I'm in today. And just thank you for your steadfast service.
We'll get one picture and then.
No.
Thank you.
Rarely have we seen a person fail. I get nervous when I talk in front of people, and so I always think of those words because saying them over and over has helped me with my speaking in public. I'm very fortunate to have had Richard and Jerry Weaver and David Fitzpatrick as the chairs before me, as well as a wonderful, diverse, and active board. The main thing that I think we've accomplished, or that's meant the most to me, other than the ship didn't sink under my watch, was that seeing what we all see in the transition ceremonies, how lives are changed, how families are changed, how the community is changed. Every time I leave Thursday night, I'm just totally renewed with hope and thanksgiving. And the other thing that this time on the board has allowed me is get to know all of you guys. I don't think many of our paths would have crossed had I not had this opportunity, and so I thank you for that. I was thinking it was 12 years ago, I was sitting out there where you guys were sitting, and the girls too, wherever you are. And it's no fun to be confined in a treatment center during the holidays. So I applaud you for being here, and I even applaud you even more for staying here. And again, thank you for the opportunity. Thanks for my family for the support. Lamar.
How you doing, folks? My name is Lamar, and I'm a person of long-term recovery. I am a silver chipper of this program, 799. This is awesome, man. You guys look beautiful out there. I like what the young lady shared earlier. You know, stick and stay. Do what you need to do. The program works. It really does. No matter how hard it is and difficult, just stay true to yourself and really work hard. This place helped me, and I know it's helping you. And that is the most beautiful thing, you know, to have someone in your corner when you're going through a rough time. I am in front of you guys today to present a Employer of the Year award to my employer. What I can say about, you know, my boss, you know, they gave me a second chance, right? Society is slow for second chances out there. When you get that second chance to do right, you got to put everything in it, just like recovery. You know, you got to put everything in it. They accepted me, you know, didn't judge me, didn't hold anything over my head, just wanted the best for me. And in turn, I gave the best of me to them. And so I want to also, this is all kind of off the script, I want to bring up a couple of my coworkers that wanted to share a little bit. If you guys want to, you guys come up. So, I mean, also where I work, 90% of the employees are from Healing Transition. That's the men and women, you know. That's what makes them and this job so awesome, is because they know, just from dealing from, you know, myself and other previous alumni from this program, work for them, and they know how hard it is. And for them to open not only, you know, their doors at work, you know, they just open up themselves and will help anybody that comes through this program. And that's an awesome feeling, to be at a place where, you know, you don't have to worry about somebody judging you or anything like that. And I'm truly grateful for that. And I'm gonna turn it over to a couple of these guys, and they're gonna share a couple of words before I present their awards.
My name is Madison. I'm an alcoholic. I'm also alumni from the women's facility number 279, and I'm an employee at Pool Specialist. I know for me, when they told me it was time to leave the planning room and get you a real job. I was very scared. I was fearful. I hadn't worked in 4 or 5 years. I had never been a trusted or valued employee. I never worked with integrity or honesty, any of that. And when I walked into my interview with pool specialists, the first thing they told me is they were just like me. You know, I work with people who are just like me, who have the same struggles that I do, and they told me that it was going to be okay. Just do your best. And you know, just like a lot of us have experienced, you know, Craig and Terry have experienced, you know, personally the tragedies of alcoholism and addiction with the passing of their son, Chad. And I think that's why they give so many of us a second chance. And I can honestly say I walk into work loving work. I know I'm valued. I know I'm trusted. They have helped me build my confidence, not only in the job, but in my sobriety. The first thing that comes first for all of us is our sobriety. They make sure we're all right. They make sure, you know, they ask if we're struggling, what it looks like when we have red flags, and what can they do to help. I'm very grateful for the opportunity that they gave me.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shannon. I'm Silver Chip 262, and I'm glad that I can be a part of this today for helping my boss, Craig and Terry, be recognized, because they're just awesome. I too, when it was time for me to transition out of healing transition, my anxiety was to the roof, because who's going to want to hire a 50-plus woman with my background, you know, and I'm just so grateful that they were able to give me the opportunity and assist me in a new life and starting over. So I'm just forever grateful, and I love you guys. Thank you so much.
My name is Ron Wilkins. I was also a person, silver chipper number 728. I was looking for a hustle. These people gave me a job. Just looking for a hustle. And they took me in and welcomed me like a family member. It can't be replaced. I appreciate that.
Thank you, guys. So, you know, for some of you that's coming up and getting close to the end, achieving your silver chip, you know, remember, you know, there is places you can go that will give you that second chance and make you feel like someone again. And so, and that's one of the things, and they mentioned it too, they nailed it on the head, you know, to not only be employed, but to be in an environment and for a job that people are just like me. So we all, as you know, silver chippers of this program, whether we bring new people in or whatnot, we try to hold each other accountable. And we can identify when something is off. And that even goes for me. If they see something in me that's off, they come to me. I see something that's off on them, I come to them. So that's how we keep recovery going. Because you know the program says we gotta hang together, work together. And it's tough to get a job where, you know, that's like that. You know, some people get jobs where, you know, people are, you know, just indulging in alcohol and making your struggle even harder. But, you know, there are places like that, but if you go in, you know, with a strict mind of doing the next right thing, you know, and talking to someone and do your best job. It doesn't mean you just get a job and you just do whatever. You got to do your part too. You know, you got to do your part too. And so I'm really grateful. So I'm definitely grateful to present this year's Employee of the Year to Pool Specialist Ted and Craig.
My wife will tell you that I talk too much, so I'll try to keep this short and sweet. But I really appreciate the award. It's excellent. But I have to say that the number one reason that we hire out of the Healing Transitions is because everybody that we hire is a winner. And the reason why you all are winners is because you had the strength, the fortitude, and the perseverance to overcome what was effectively crippling you and causing you issues in the past. And you know, as a parent that lost a child and actually almost lost a second child, finally our daughter is now in recovery, thank God. I have an understanding of what you go through, and y'all are winners. And you know, I have a friend who wins all first places, and he keeps those in boxes. And there is one trophy that he keeps out on the shelf, and that's the one that he came in second place. And I said, well, why do you keep that on the shelf? He says, because it reminds me that I have to work harder. And that's your life every day, is you're reminding yourself that you've got to work harder so that you can keep winning the race. So I appreciate it. When we hire somebody, we bring you into our team. However, we also welcome you into our family. And I expect my family members, Lamar, Madison, Shannon, everybody to watch out and keep an eye on each other and help each other out so that nobody fails. Our success rate out of this program is phenomenal. We've hired 28 people out of this program. And out of those 28 people, 80% are still in recovery today. So I think that's excellent. So that speaks magnitude for this program. And my best workers are from this program. I think Lamar is the best person I've ever hired in both my careers. And so I have a lot of admiration for Lamar and everybody else that works for me.
Daniel, you're up.
Good evening. I'm Daniel Malden, and I am a person in long-term recovery with 14 years clean. And I'm also Silver Chipper number 358, and I am a staff member at our thrift store on Capitol Boulevard. And I'm here to recognize our volunteer of the year, and her name is Antoinetta Stengoni. So Antoinetta Stengoni is currently and has been a volunteer at our thrift store since 2009, when the store was originally located in Cary. She tirelessly drives from Cary to our current location on Capitol Boulevard every day of the week to help us with our store, to help us with donations. And she always has a smile. She's always asking, as soon as she walks in, she asks, how are we doing? And she even takes home linens that we sort from donations. She takes linens home that are lightly soiled, and she washes them and dries them and folds them and then returns them to the store for resale. And Antoinetta has proven to be dependable. She's proven to be loyal, and she's proven to be very consistent. And with that, we just love her, and we value the time that she has given to us over the years. And I also can't forget that she brings us the most delicious food to snack on. It's awesome. And Antoinetta joins us via Zoom. And so at this time, Antoinetta.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Antoinetta. Would you like to say a few words, Antoinetta?
I like to say that you guys are amazing. I'm so happy to be part of this group. I'm so impressed the way you guys work, and you all work together, never seem to be upset. You are an inspiration to everybody. And for me, I ran my own store, I ran my own business, but this is so much fun. I won't give this up for the world. I just love to help, love to be a part of you guys. And that's all I have to say. But it's an honor and it's a pleasure to be with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel.
All right, my name is Will Dickens. I'm the planning room coordinator for the men's and women's facility, silver chipper number 133. And I have a person in long-term recovery, but I know sometimes I don't say that because I know here we deal with a lot of newcomers, and I don't want to sometimes confuse you. But staff member of the year, I don't have nothing wrote down because I can free flow with this gentleman all day. But for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that. A staff member of the year is Rachel Williams. The reason I said a free flow is because everybody here knows Rachel. Everybody that go all the way back, not quite to the beginning, because I arrived here 9/15/02, and Rachel was in the program at the time. And I'm telling you, this guy's work speaks for itself. He treats everybody the same. He got a couple of sayings in that shelter that we know. One of them is listen up. Another one is everybody up front. But I just have so much respect for this man and the way he carries himself. It's an honor and a privilege to call him my friend and my peer. Please help me welcome Rachel Williams.
My name is Rachel. I'm a person in long time recovery, silver chipper 85. Let's have a moment of silence for the ones that we lost this year. I'd like to thank God for making all this possible. And I was just looking at that film a little earlier when we got in here, man, and I was looking at that guy that didn't have nowhere to stay, had to sleep in the cold and just hang around in the cold all day. And that was me. There wasn't people for like Linda, Miss Evelyn, Fred Barber, Chris Budnick, there's Kathy, Man the Blue, people like that, man, I wouldn't be here to tell y'all my story. Today, made 19 years that I've been working here. And Saturday, the 18 to be 20 years that I've been in recovery. And I want to thank all the participants. Because I'm telling you, man, without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. Y'all helped me more than I helped y'all. You know, I came here, and I want to get me some rest when I got here. You know, I was tired of running. I've been running for a while. Also, you know, it was December, so it was cold. So I come to get warm as well. You know, then I can go back on doing what I like to do, just get high. You know, but I left here to go to class and said to myself, ain't no way in the world I'm finna do that walking. I'm not gonna do that. From here to South William Street, down to the soup kitchen, back and back here. No, I can't do that. But then something tapped me on my shoulder and said, where you going? You guys know where to go. You done burnt up all your bridges. You gotta know where to go. And I'm telling you, man, I thank God today I had nowhere to go. Because all it took for somebody to say, you can sleep on my couch. Then I want to be able to tell you the story today. You know? It's an awesome program, man. I went through this program. I finished this program. Then I was offered a job here. And I'm just like my man. Me? Working here? You know, and it's the first time in my life that I had a job that I've never been late to. That I never missed a day in 19 years. And it's because of the healing place. That's what it was when I got here, was the healing place when I got here. You know, and I just want to let every last one of y'all know, man, that if I can do it, anybody can do it. Y'all stick and stay. Don't leave before the miracle happens. Don't leave before the miracle happens. If ain't nobody told you they love you today, it's the right for doing.
I'm Tanya. I'm a person. I'm Tanya, and I'm an addict. It's been my privilege to introduce someone today that kind of was a scary situation with COVID in the building. And they came in every week, no matter if we had people in quarantine, what was going on, they came in on Wednesdays. They smiled, they said hello to us, they remembered our names. And I went from being scared to come in here to being very happy to see Flo and Chi Chi. It's my honor to present them with the COVID Heroes of the Year. Thank you very much.
Rick, you got your plaque.
Hey, man, let me get that.
So I have the privilege of presenting a COVID Hero Award to Dr. Brian Klausner. Dr. Klausner provided many lectures throughout the COVID pandemic, essentially educating us on what the virus was, how it was evolving, how we can stay safe, why we should stay safe, how we can end the spread of this thing, why we should get vaccinated. It was very informative and really helpful for, I know, me to hear and everyone else to hear. You know, we have a very high vaccination rate at both this campus and the women's campus. That's something to be very proud of. Dr. Klausner has been helping folks that are experiencing homelessness for many, many years now. He is a big time advocate at the county level. He leads a couple different groups and oversees some of these projects and stuff that are going on. Just a wonderful guy, and really honored to present him the COVID Hero Award. Good job, Dr. Klausner.
Thank you. Can you hear me? We're good. All right, good. I promise I'm going to be quick because I'm listening to these speeches and they're absolutely amazing. So I want to shut up quickly so I can keep listening. I will say quickly, it's an honor to be honored by such an incredible organization. I had been doing homeless medicine for years in a couple of different cities before I came to Raleigh about 10 years ago. And I remember when I first heard about Healing Transitions, honestly, I was just confused because it seemed too good to be true. And I got a tour from Dr. Bilbro, who showed me around. And you know, since the 10 years I've been here in working with Healing Transitions, I'm still confused because it still feels too good to be true. I think it truly is, honestly, one of the coolest population public health models I've ever seen to get to the root cause of homelessness, addiction, behavioral health, the support, the love that the program shows. I think, you know, a testament to that is just all the speeches that we're hearing today. So it's been really an honor, and you know, similar to other speakers, I feel like I've learned so much more from in my work with Healing Transitions than I've ever been able to kind of impart to the program and the employees and the participants. But we've done some really fun, meaningful work together, and especially during this, to be able to continue your work during the pandemic, or unfortunately, as the flu's kicking in, the twindemic that we're starting to see a little bit, or even, you know, in the context of all this, still fighting the chronic opioid epidemic. I mean, it's, you know, we can't let our guard down with that, especially as numbers go up with that. So the work that Healing Transitions is doing is now as important or more important than ever. And the fact that you guys have been able to battle through and continue with those efforts in the context of the pandemic truly is literally life-saving. So honored to be part of this, and that is it. I will be quiet, but thank you.
Dr. Klausner, we did get you a little gift. Are y'all hearing me?
Yeah.
Y'all hear me on Zoom? Okay. We got you a little gift. It's a bobblehead doll of a little doctor. Because when Dr. Klausner hears someone needs help, he nods and says yes.
That is awesome. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Laura Flood. I'm the planning room team lead at the women's campus. I'm gonna. Oh, it's my first time sitting here. I would like to welcome Daphne Cutkin. She is our first silver chip, number 285. Daphne entered our program of recovery on November 1st, 2019. The referral from Trillium Health Services. She quickly transitioned to CTR1 on December 4th, 2019. But she was moved back to MET 1 for failure to follow program guidelines. She was moved back to CTR1 on May 19, 2020, and finally CTR2 on June 24, 2020. Due to other attitudes and behavior surfacing, Daphne was voted to overnight by her CTR2 community. After utilizing overnight for a while, finding employment and housing, Daphne reached out to staff to say that she wanted to finish what she started. Daphne returned back to the CTR2 community to receive suggestions from staff and her peers to be able to work towards becoming alumni of our program. She completed those suggestions in the form of actions and writings and was voted into alumni status on April 1st, 2021. Please help me welcome Healing Transitions alumni number 285, Daphne Cutkin.
So I'm kind of nervous, but Casey House called me and told me to write a few things down So briefly, I'm gonna tell you what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. What my active addiction looked like. My whole life revolved around drugs, money, and my ex-husband. I was in and out of jail. I've been arrested more times than I can count. I've wrecked more cars than I care to say. I have burned every bridge with family and friends. I had given my son to my parents because I was an unstable mess. I didn't know my worth. I didn't love myself or respect myself. What happened? So at this point in my life, I have been arrested 2 times within 1 month on drug charges. And while on probation, I got a 3rd charge and went to jail. With this last charge alone, I was looking at 6 to 10 years. I sat 8 months in county and somehow, by the grace of God, got a plea deal for all my charges and took probation. When I got out, I still hung out with the same people and the same crowd, and I ended up relapsing and back in jail. I had to call my son on his birthday and let him know that I had got locked up again. He started to cry, and he said to me, "Mommy, I've been praying for you, and I want to know when you're going to get help like Aunt Brooke did." Those words broke me. I told my mom to find me a rehab, and I talked to my PO who agreed. November 1st, 2019 started my journey at the HT. I was the quiet girl who did her work, took notes, kept her head down. I worked all 12 steps with my sponsor. Most of the ladies that went through the program with me would tell you if you're looking for me, you would probably find me in Gina's office painting ceiling tiles. That was my therapy, my meditation time, my peace. That helped me get through the program. I was the person that could say pretty much flew under the radar until I got caught with a cell phone and was sent back. Then I made it to CTR2, and we all know when you get to CTR2, you get a cell phone in that part of the program. But I had been put on a 2-week phone ban, so I couldn't talk to my ex-husband. Needless to say, my love for him and my loyalty for him knew no consequences. I stole my phone out of Casey House's office, which resulted in being sent to overnight, in which you are no longer a part of the program. This was a pivotal moment in my recovery. Because I have finished the educational part of the program, my probation officer had allowed me to move to an Oxford house. I got a job, I was doing good. I even hit my 1-year mark in recovery, and all hell broke loose for me. My ex-husband, who I had tried to help get clean, decided that he didn't want to be with me anymore. He had cheated on me multiple times and decided to stay with the last woman that he had cheated on me with. Little did I know God was doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. This opened my eyes to see the man that I would have gladly died for wouldn't do the same for me. This man I remained loyal to, tried to build a life with, couldn't see my worth. Drugs and alcohol were harder to withdraw, but this man was harder and stronger than any drug to let go of. I have no idea how to live without him, what life could be without him. My whole last 12 years have been nothing but him. That day I learned what the girls at the HT have been trying to help me see. That I needed to forgive myself, that I needed to love myself, that my life was so much more than I had given myself credit for, that I could live without a man and drugs. I did come back to the HT and got in compliance and silver chipped the program. It may not be the traditional way, but all of our journeys are different, and mine was just the path that I needed to take. The life I lead today is more amazing than I ever thought I deserved. But in all honesty, I can say I worked very hard to earn every minute of it. I have a stable job that I've been working for over a year. I'm now assistant manager there. I have repaired all those bridges that I burned. My son is happy and proud. I have a great circle of friends and an amazing boyfriend who I actually have a healthy relationship with, who treats me and my son amazing. I'm able to come out to the HT and give back to the ladies there by teaching art classes, teaching open classes, and helping the newer girls that come in. I left my Oxford house in good standing. I just moved into my own place with my boyfriend. I'm an actual productive member of society. I love myself. I know my worth. I have healthy friendships and relationships. I love life, and I can't wait to see where God is going to continue to take me. I do want to thank the HT and all the ladies who pushed me to see my true potential, the sponsor, my son, the family and friends that stood by me and believed in me when I didn't. I want to thank my managers and my coworkers who have all helped me along my journey. The last thing I really want to say is if you're still struggling, you need to hold on. You're stronger than you know. If I can do it, you can do it. And thank you for letting me be a part of this celebration.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay. I don't know if you move it. Project. Okay. Oh, and all of the ladies are receiving this coin. One side has I am responsible one day at a time, alumni. The other side says Healing Transitions Raleigh. Right. The next lady that we would like to recognize tonight is Melissa Henrys. She is silver chip number 290. Melissa entered the program through our waiting list on January the 9th, 2020. She transitioned to the first portion of the program, met one on February 3rd, 2020. She quickly transitioned to the third portion of the program on March 13th, 2020, where she was addressed on attitudes and behaviors such as people-pleasing, overstepping, and gossiping. She received suggestions such as 1K, putting the gloves down, 500 words of manipulation. On July 29th, 2020, Melissa was voted back to Met 2 due to attitudes and behaviors, but did what was suggested of her and was able to transition back to CTR 1 on August 19, 2020. On October 24, 2020, Melissa was moved to overnight and was placed on REC for some attitudes and behaviors. But again, she did not give up. She was able to work on suggested actions and writings and re-engaged back into the program on November 9, 2020. Melissa transitioned to CTR 2 on December 2nd, 2020, and was again voted back to Met 1 on May 10th, 2021. She worked on additional suggestions and returned back to CTR 2 on May 14th, 2021. She completed a service commitment as a peer mentor and was voted into alumni status on July 25th, 2021. And now she is employed as a recovery engagement specialist here at the Healing Transitions. While engaged in our program, Melissa attended 657 12-step meetings and was engaged in our program for a total of 524 days. Please help me welcome Healing Transitions alumni number 290, Melissa Henrys.
A lot of gratitude, y'all. Good job. I am definitely probably one of the biggest babies, but that's okay. I can feel today. I numbed a lot of stuff for about 30 years. Burnt bridges, I did it all, you know. It was a lost soul. I'm very broken, not coming here. A lot of people that I looked up to in this program, you know, Healing Transitions, great when the doors were open for me. Shannon Holland, I wouldn't be here without you. how you ended up in the same room with me this day. It's God. She answered the phone when I called that day. And I'm a person that needs to know every single detail, down to the fine threads. I wanted to know what Mat 1 looked like, Mat 2, CTR 1, how long was I gonna have to stay here, what was I gonna have to do. Her patience was amazing. She left out one thing. Got to tell me it was a homeless shelter. Probably wouldn't have come. But I owe a lot to you. Trilly and Jamie. It's an honor and a privilege today to get to work with you. It really is. Man Blue, Stacy House, Chris. Y'all are amazing people. Really. Absolutely amazing. And I get to stand in this room amongst all these miracles. I was kind of feeling myself. I have that job. I also work at a gas station. And I asked for the job. I asked for the hours. I make my own schedule. And yet I still complain. And I have no gratitude to the point that I'm tired. I forget where I'm at, what I'm doing. And my sister sent me something from, I can't even quote who it was by, but it was on gratitude. And I asked for all of this. And now here I stand and I'm complaining because I'm tired. I can't receive blessings without being grateful for the blessings I have. Little turn, this was a couple of days ago. I'm completely lost for words, just like the gratitude for this program is amazing. The day that I came, the day that I went to detox was January 20th of 2020. I had a conversation with my mom that morning. And she said, all at once, my daughter, she said, you're a shell of a person and you have no soul. That was the best day of my life. I OD'd and died. And that was the turning point for me. In June, I was able to go home and see my mom. She's not in the greatest health, but I was able to go home and she was so proud. She had a daughter, you know what I mean? That's a gift I couldn't give her. And I am so honored and so grateful. July into June, I got a phone call. My mom was in the hospital. I was able to go show up at the hospital and be with my mom for that week. Hardest thing I had to do was take her off that ventilator, but that was her wish. She didn't want to live on a ventilator. But this program afforded me the opportunity for my mom to have a daughter before she died. And for that, I'm truly grateful. Laura said I have a job there. Who would have thought multi-convicted felon could work in a place like I do today? Words cannot express the gratitude. I could show you better than I can tell you. Those words used not to mean a whole lot, but they do today. To each and every one of you participants that out here, if I could do this, you can absolutely do this. It's a Steve Harvey quote. Your darkest days, you made it through it. Your worst times, you made it through it. Your success rate on the things that you've been through, it's not 5% that you made it through it. It's 100%. It's 100%. There's nobody in this room that can't do it. There's nobody on Zoom that can't do it. I'm standing up here as a pure miracle of an overdose. I've been through the jail time. I've done the prostitution. I've done it all. You don't have to do it no more. Give yourself a break and live a life worth living. Thank you.
All right, number 291, Carolyn Williams, Our last alumni we would like to recognize is also a truly referral, who entered our recovery program on June 26, 2020. Carolyn had a smooth path through our program, transitioning to CTR1 on August 3rd, 2020, and finally to CTR2 on March 10th, 2021. While engaged in our program, Carolyn was addressed on attitudes and behaviors such as entitlement, irresponsibility, and inconsideration. She received suggested writings and actions such as 1K on passive aggressiveness, 1K it no longer serves me, and a 2-week positive affirmation log. Carolyn completed a service commitment in our non-medical detox and was able to be voted into alumni status on July 29th, 2021. Carolyn has also been hired as a recovery engagement specialist here at Healing Transitions. While engaged in our program, Carolyn attended a total of 407 12-step meetings and was engaged in our program for a total of 400 days. Please help me welcome Healing Transitions alumni number 291, Ms. Carolyn Williams.
Oh, Jesus. Ooh. Let me breathe first. I didn't write a speech and cue cards to read from. I'm just going to talk from my heart. It's like, thank God for bringing me through all the stuff that I put myself through my addiction. Because I'm at my able to stand for you tonight. My 4 beautiful children who refused to give up on their mother, here, Sinead, and Devin. They had many interventions with me, but the last one, I think it shocked me back to reality. Mommy, if you don't get some help, we'll cut you off completely. I lost him as infants in my addiction. I couldn't do it again as adults. So, it brought me to Healing Transition. I am so grateful for them finding that place, because when they told me, Mommy, we have some place for you to go, I knew what they were talking about. I was high. I walked in that building. It's so crazy because I felt the love when I walked in the lobby. And so much of stuff I cried to on a daily basis. Not that I wanted to leave, I was just so overwhelmed. Detox, Miss Blue, the shelter, Miss Mary. My spouse's birthday is the same day as mine, April 25th. For the participants there, my 3 best friends, Diana, Sheila, and Michelle. If you're just coming here, please stay. Because there are miracles in that building. There's so much love there. And you have to want it. I wanted mine because I wanted to live. I was slowly killing myself, you know. I could look back and say I'm proud of the woman who's looking back at me in the mirror. I love me today. I love Healing Transition. Thank you.
Ain't that something, William? Is it? Yeah. This is the first time we've had women over here for the transition ceremony. Yep. Out of necessity. You women, thank you. I apologize, but the women coming over here for the ceremony were deprived of the experience of the ceremony at the women's. I need you guys to help out for a second. Now, for any of the women who are here from Women's Campus, can you tell me, how do the women sound when a woman cuts up and talks? They were robbed of that because of COVID. I need you guys to give those 3 women what they would normally get from their sisters. Look, role model it for us again, ladies. I know this is a stretch, but on the count of 3, I want to hear it for these ladies who just shared their heart and soul. 1, 2, 3.
Good job, guys. Thank y'all ladies for sharing your stories. I felt all of it, and it's amazing when you hear ladies tell their stories. I'm telling you. So I'm gonna try to keep it moving. But what the 4 guys gonna be doing tonight is receiving a silver chip medallion. On one side it says, Healing Transitions of Raleigh, North Carolina. And on the other side, it says, I am responsible, an alumni, one day at a time. Now, quickly, I'm gonna say, once you silver chip this program, it's all out about that stuff about the program is free. It's free when you get here, but you got to put some willingness in. But once you leave here, I invite you to become a change maker. I heard about us making jobs, of working jobs and making money. Come on and give back what was so freely given to you. Not only reaching back, but some of this dinero that you're making. So I invite you to become a change maker. The reason I'm saying that, because I'm one. So come on and join us. And see, another reason I like to say it, because every time I say it, one of the board members say, good job. All right, the first Silver Chip alumni we're going to be recognizing is Mr. Tavin Whitley. And Tavin arrived at Healing Transition September the 12th, 2019. While in this program, Tavin received concerns, and that's why y'all see Tavin, he's up front. Tavin don't tell y'all a lot, he's a silver chipper, but he have done this program. That's why he look at you so strange and call you out when you don't know. He's just not another staff member sitting up there. Concerns, 8 times of poor job performance, I don't know about that. Sleeping in community, bad thing. Not following the guidelines, not tour ready, and late 2 times. Some of the writings Tavin received was a silent roster check, 1,000 words on my ego is not my amigo, 5 hours of fellowship in the shelter, and write a 1-page synopsis on each participant, 1 page on growth, 500 words on how my actions affect others, 1 week dinner and lunch with new CTRs, facilitate a Sunday solutions class, and a buddy band. I don't know who that was with. But anyway, Kevin, while here, attended 466 meetings and was here a total of 433 days. Please help me welcome Silver Chip alumni, number 934. Kevin Whitley. And a former peer mentor.
Wow. I appreciate y'all. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. Again, my name is Tevin Whitley, Silver Chipper 934. This is kind of surreal. It's been a long time coming. Actually, Silver Chip almost a year ago to this date. But as you know, COVID put a hold on everything. I arrived here September, I want to say September 11th, something like that, or September 12th. It was the 12th. Because I claimed my sobriety date was the next day when I woke up from that drunken daze on the 13th. Yeah, I would tell you I remember when I showed up, but no, I was very much under influence. I was very angry, and I stayed angry almost the whole time I was here. Sitting in the same very room, I learned the reason why I was angry. I was angry at myself. I blamed everyone for the most part for why my life became what it was. I am a veteran of the Navy. Thank you. That ended because of my addictions and my alcoholism. I ran a marriage into the ground. I had burned a lot of bridges with my family. Somewhere along the lines of being in this program, something clicked. And I ceased to stop fighting everyone. Spiritual awakening, if you will. I started to see God in every conversation I had. The way things were said to me sounded different. I felt the presence what I call the God of my understanding in everything, every single thing. Without my sponsor, I wouldn't be standing here today with this name badge on. Can you believe they gave me keys to this place? What? Right, yeah, how many poor job performances? And I got keys here. I started out in the shelter on the floor, listening to Mr. Rayford. I was mad at him too. But he kept it real with me. I remember right before I want to say I made CTR, he told me, I don't know what we got into it about, but he said, if you keep up with that anger right there, you ain't never gonna make it. And I wanted to be mad, but I thought about why he said that to me. I am my own worst enemy. He's my friend today, same as Mr. Budnick. I spent time in his office crying. And he sat and just, in the way that he talks to you like this. Well, have you tried thinking about, And I said, no, but thank you so much for that. It all makes sense now. I even had a run-in with Jason. It ain't my fault, it's their fault. They don't know who I am, but he's one of my good friends today too. His wife makes the best baked goods. Justin, Wendy, this is family. This is a new family. My sponsee brothers, they're more of my real brothers than they are just, affiliation. And who they have a buddy band with? It was with Thomas. He's sitting right there. And I value that time we spent together. I can't tell you, and I said I wasn't gonna be up here long, but I'm letting God, run through me right now. None of this is planned. I can't tell you how grateful I am for this. I felt like I had lost it all, but because of this place and finding this place, literally finding this place, I didn't look it up. Just ran into somebody that was here. And going through it, I wouldn't have a life today. I should be dead. I tried to kill myself twice. But I love it. I get up every morning with a purpose. I don't complain. And I love talking to all you guys who are trying to do this. Well, I do complain. Don't look at me like that. My sponsee brother Jake was like, But I love it though, with a passion. Now that you guys who probably see me every day who didn't know all this about me, please come pick my brain, because that's what I did when I came through here. Eventually, when I stopped fighting everybody, I started to pick people's brain, okay? I love you guys. I love everyone who's here working, my now coworkers and everyone else. I love each and every one of you. You all make me who I am today. Thank you.
Just so sometime I get this wrong, it costs $35 a day to be here. I'm somewhere. I might not be on it, but I'm somewhere near it. So when you hear me say them days, that's why I want you to remember how many days you was here. All right, the next guy we're gonna be recognizing, that's the man that had the buddy band, is Mr. Thomas Cope. Now, this guy, man, I'm telling you, he was amazing coming through here, because when we stopped having the classes at Met One classes and started having them over there on Maplewood right there at the church, it was good for Thomas, because Thomas was in detox so much, because he would come back, he wouldn't cause any problems, but when they would trudge downtown, he would always go to this cafe, and he would always come back drunk. And we would say, Thomas, why you keep going there? He said, well, that's where my friends are, and they have really good coffee. But he's always been a real funny guy. So Thomas was in detox 7 times, 2 nights in overnight, 15 days on overnight with contract, 87 days in Met 1, 90 days in Met 2, 294 days at $35 a night. In CTR 1, 243 days in CTR 2, coming up to a total of 718 days at $35 a day. I want you to know that. And he's a former peer mentor. While here, he got suggestions such as poor job performance a couple times, broken commitment, not too ready, bad attitude, that must have something to do with that buddy band, dishonesty. Some of the help he got was attend an outside meeting with 3 of his peers, read chapter contempt prior to investigation and write a synopsis on it. 2 pages on addressing my fears. And I'm gonna kind of stop right there for the sake of time. But I just want you to know 718 days at $35 a day. Please help me welcome Silver Chip alumni number 941, Thomas Cole.
I'm Thomas. I'm an alcoholic. You know, when I first came here, I was an elderly gay man with a drinking problem, on the verge of having a coke problem. On top of that, and you know, this place saved my life. It truly did. I could thank everybody here. I'm going to single out a couple of people who are no longer here. Randy Edwards and Jason Sutton, both who had a lot to do with my recovery, and I miss both those guys very much. Also, I would like to mention the women who work at HT, at the men's campus. It can't be easy, but thank you, all of you. I appreciate it. I don't see Terry. I don't see. I guess Chef had an accident, but I just heard about that. Amanda, thank you. But honestly, I just can't thank everybody enough. And I was in bad shape. I was staying at hotels where you didn't have room service. That's how bad. That's how bad it got. I mean, seriously. But also, I've got to say this, or I'd be remiss. If your sexuality is any way wrapped up with your addiction, you're in the right place, and it will get better. It truly will get better. And I could go on, but I won't. And thank you guys very much.
Next gentleman we're gonna be recognizing is Mr. Tom Brown. I guess that's what he called his name. He go by Tom Henry Brown or Henry Tom Brown, one of the two. This gentleman was here at Healing Transitions 354 days at $35 a day, and attended over 366 meetings. I'm just saying that, gentlemen, because I invite y'all to become change makers. I'm telling you, it will make you feel good. It's good to give back from your heart. We're coming out here giving back to the participants, giving them rides and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, this is 2021 close to the end, and it takes money. So help us out. Ain't nothing wrong with that, is there? Am I wrong? We need that money. Come on and help us. All right. Let's talk a little bit about some of this man's suggestions he got in that 354 days. Inappropriate comment, retaliation, not following the guidelines 4 times, unattended property, inconsideration, failure to be a leader, poor job performance, and broken commitment. Some of the help he got was finish his 4th and 5th step within 1 month, chair 1 2001 meeting, 2-page synopsis on why discretion is better than valor. I don't know what that means. And a 2-day buddy band with Charles and Walt Jr. Please help me welcome Silver Chip alumni number 944, Mr. Tom Henry. I know you will.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
I was a thief, a liar, a drug addict, ping pong player. Another ping pong player. So, and another ping pong player. I would like to say, man, that, you know, I was a functional drug addict. This is one of the most dangerous drug addicts you can be. I thought I wasn't a drug addict, you know? But it's gonna catch up to you sooner or later, and it did to me. You know, and my kids, I have daughters and they daddy's girls. They didn't want to have nothing to do with me. When they had their kids, they didn't want to have their kids around me. I was just like so bad. You know, and my ex-fiance passed away, and that was it. That was it. I tried to kill myself with drugs because I was scared to pull the trigger. Quit my job, good job, jumped in my truck until they repoed that and lived out my truck and just tried to do as much drugs as Raleigh could offer me. And when I came here February 1st, 2020, I was leaking, and I was leaking bad. And when I came here, my daughter brought me here. And when I came here, I knew it was over. But something happened when I came in here. One thing that happened is I got real with myself. And when I got real with myself, I found out that I didn't love my kids. I didn't love my grandkids. I didn't love my brothers. My mother, I went to her deathbed and they was gonna pull the plug on her. I told her I love her. You know, I just wanted to get back to Raleigh. I went all the way to Jersey to say my goodbyes. And I just wanted to get back to Raleigh. And that was January 2nd. February 1st, I came in here. And when I was in here, I realized I didn't even love my mom while she was on her deathbed. That's crazy, right? Because how can a man love someone if I don't even have no love for myself? That means I don't even have no love to love you. And that was a crazy reality for me. So I said, I'm going to do this thing. But now it's like, you know, I went through a lot of things in here and I've learned about who I am and what is my addiction. And I've learned. And this right here, this is just a token to say that we appreciate you and your progress. This is not going to keep me sober. For all the guys that are in here, and because the people that's out of here working in recovery knows that. This is not a blocker for my choice of drug. You know what I mean? But I can tell you what a blocker is: service work. Thinking about the next person. You feel me? It ain't all about me no more. It's about you, everybody in here but me. And I'm proud of that. Today, I can say that I love the next man. I want to see the next man grow because I know that as long as I authentically love you and want to see you grow, that's going to come back on me. And it feels good. Amen. And I like to thank God first. And Mr. Rayford, Mr. Dickens, you can sign me up for that change thing. It doesn't matter. I do service work. I give every day, but I never thought about giving here, and I don't have no problem doing that because a lot of people know that, you know, I'm a very, very giving person. So you're gonna set me up before I leave tonight, so we can. You got direct deposit? She go right there. Okay, all right. Well, I thank y'all. I love HT so much. You guys stay strong, man. Stay strong and help your brother out. Help your brother out, man. I'm telling you, this thing is, yo, you got some crazy promises out there waiting for you. You know, you can knock on your mom's door. She's going to pull you in. Now she's going to slam it. You know what I mean? So I'm telling you, man, there is a lot of promises out there, man. There's a lot of people in HT and the people that's affiliated with HT just waiting for you to do good, man. Waiting for you to work your recovery because they're going to be there for you. Like they was there for me. And I thank you. And I thank you, Chris. And I thank you, Jarvis. Jarvis, now I'm going to tell you something. He got so much recovery in that yellow van out there. Y'all need to be in line. I'm telling you, because that's where I was at. And I got recovery every day I went in that man's van. I'm telling you, he keep it strong and he keep it real. Thank you. Have a blessed night. Congratulations. You just need to see Miss Wendy because if we got one, I'm doing my job. That ain't got nothing to do with the ones we getting on Zoom. Now, this other guy, I definitely know if you're not a change maker, you need to be one. Because this gentleman was here in this program when it was OTS 1. So that lets you know. Mr. Eric Norman. Eric first engaged with Healing Transition 7/7/2014. All the total together, he was in MET 1, 135 days, MET 2, 54 days, CTR 1, 279 days, and CTR 2, 338 days. For a total altogether, you spent 806 days here, and we want our money. We want our money. Hey, I'm sorry, man. I just had to get into that change maker stuff because I'm telling y'all, you give back, but this program works, but it does help us out. We're trying to revitalize this place. He was here he did a total of 771 meetings, and some of the suggestions he received was some of the concerns he received was self-will 2 times, dishonesty 2 times, PJP, late for the food stamp meeting, poor job performance, life left on in room. I know you owe us. R&J for 3 poor job performances and an inappropriate comment. Some of the help he received was volunteer for the food bank for 30 days, a daily planner for 30 days, copy the guidelines, job guidelines, 30-day anger journal. I hope I ain't got you angry, but now I hope you're working on that. 2-page resentments will kill me. Salary roster check. Read page 62 and write a 2-page synopsis on it. A daily planner for the rest of phase 1. You see, he been here so long the name's changed in the program. A salary roster check. Please help me welcome Silver Chip alumni number 945, a former peer mentor, Mr. Eric Norman.
Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Eric Norman, and I'm a hard case alcoholic. As you can see, I did a lot here. I spent a lot of time here. It's just like home when I come here. I love hanging out here. I really do. I remember 7 years ago when I sat down in those chairs, I was in the ceremony watching the guys up here. It's like, man, I know what I'm going to say. 2 weeks later, like, oh yeah, I know what I'm going to say now. I got all that good share stuff, right? Mr. Dickens, I wrote way more words than that. I think y'all lost some records. So, really, you know, I want to say thank you to my higher power. I want to say thank you to select few more people who made a difference in my life. I want to say thank you to the man who just walked in the detox today. I want to say thank you to all the guys who are in the shelter today. I want to say thank you also to the women. I don't see y'all here, but like the women's shelter as well. I'm nervous up here. It could be there enough, Jordan. And all the unspoken heroes and all the spoken heroes that made this place possible. It's changed my life today. I just want to say thank you.
Hey, you guys, my name is Casey House. I'm the transition coordinator here at the women's campus. I'm also a woman in long-term recovery. By the grace of God, I haven't had to have a drink or a drug since February 15th of 2014. Also alumni number 144 of Healing Transitions. Tonight, I get to have the opportunity to acknowledge the ladies that have transitioned to the last part of our program. We have two ladies to recognize tonight. They've gained a working knowledge of the 28 group sessions. They have been voted by their peers into CTR2. They've learned how to hold others accountable and learned a lot about self-accountability. So now in the transition portion of the program, they are able to learn a little bit more about what it's like to be self-supporting and be productive members of society. They are going to do a commitment to Healing Transitions, look for work, gain employment, learn about budgeting, open bank accounts, start doing those things that, you know, everyday people do to help them with that transition into recovery housing. What they're going to receive tonight is a marble, just one, because Dennis Parnell said we had lost our marbles when we were out there. So by the time you make it to CTR2, you have the opportunity to get one back. They're also going to receive a bracelet. It says she believed she could, so she did. And a copy of their detox picture in hopes that they'll never forget. The first lady that I would like to call up is Becky Heelan.
No. Oh. No, that's not me.
Andrea Whitaker.
Yay! Woo-hoo! Got Andrea.
Andrea. And your marble. And Becky Heelan.
Yep.
Go,
Becky.
All right,
Becky.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jason Sexton. I'm the transition case manager here at the Men's. Also Silverton number 544. I want to congratulate all the men and the ladies on their silver chips. Great speeches. Enjoyed it. So I'm Casey's counterpart over here at the Men's. I'm Casey's counterpart over here at the Men's. So I work with the gentlemen that are completed the educational portion of the program. They're either now doing a commitment or they're working and saving money for recovery housing. So in the essence of time, I'm just going to mention the gentleman's name and we're going to show their detox picture. But as Casey said, they do get their detox picture. They get a marble back and they also get one of these beautiful hats. All right. So first up is Gil Crumshaw. David Ringenberg. Keith Adamson. Timothy Fox. Tim Evans. Rusty Pasor. And Michael Herr.
All right, this has been a marathon meeting. Thank you, everybody, for hanging in there and being part of this celebration and 20th anniversary. Yeah, 20th, it feels like it's 20 years later since we started. For those in nicotine withdrawal, you are released to go smoke.